Hey, welcome back to Cycle Fab. I'm Larry. In today's video, we're going to continue with the GS550 street tracker build. Now, what I'm going after on this, with the motor anyway, is I want to bring the motor back to as original look as I can get. In other words, the all aluminum appearance. And it's not in bad shape. And besides, I have the decals for it, not decals, but the little emblems that go on the side of it. I was very careful taking those off of the side plates. And I just want to get that looking just as pristine as I can. That's why I powder coated the covers with Prismatics polished aluminum powder and then went back over it with a matte clear gloss. The motor's going to look just like it did as it came out of the factory. At least that's what I'm shooting for. It's kind of a motor restoration. Now, the bike itself will have a different look to it than what it did when it came off the showroom floor. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be a street tracker-ish type bike. But what I did is I got ahead of myself. This motor was froze up when I got it. It has 14,000 original miles on it, which really isn't that much. Now, after getting into it, I found out that the inside of the motor is fine. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's no reason for me to have to split these cases. The reason why it was froze up, it had a little ant nest built up inside of one of the cylinders. That was it. So I got it cleaned out. But in me getting ahead of myself, in other words, me not pressure washing the motor off before I started disassembling it, I got all the side covers off. They're prepped. They're done. I don't want to get a bunch of crud and water and everything down inside my motor. So what I'm going to do is I want to take some plastic wrap and wrap my covers with it, not necessarily this one, but some of the other ones, and put them back on here and take it outside, and then I want to spray it down with degreaser, gunk. I like this stuff. It works great. The neat thing about gunk is basically it's kerosene. All right, so it's not going to really damage any paint or damage anything. It just works. I just like the way it works. I've always used it. When I was tearing this apart, though, I did break 2 studs off inside of the head. And anyway, it's not that big of a deal for me. I mean, I've got a machine shop, so I machined them out. But here's a picture of what the setup looks like. It was really kind of a pain in the ass because the angle that these exhaust ports sit on are really compound. They're not just 90 degrees off from the top of the jugs or anything like that. I don't know what degree they're sitting on, but anyway, I had to get it on that flat plane level, and you can tell by looking at this setup here on my mill, it's really wonky looking. But anyway, it worked. Got everything taken care of there, but it was hit and run there for a moment. I tried some of the easy outs, which I have had luck with easy outs before, but I didn't think they were going to work on this. The reason why is because you have a metal or a steel stud inside of an aluminum head. And the reason why they're stuck together is because you have aluminum oxide and also iron oxide, and basically they're welded together. And just using an easy out with lubrication, trying to get down in through those threads and get it to break loose and even put a little heat on it. It didn't do anything. It broke that easy out, just boom, lickety split. So anyway, that's another reason why I set it up on the mill, because I kind of figured that, I would have to machine it out. But anyway, everything came out just fine. No problems there, other than, it just taking time to do it. So what I'm going to show you guys today, or kind of let you know that if you ever decide to work on a vintage bike or a bike that's been setting up for quite a while, if you're going to disassemble it and whatever you're going to do to it, before you do anything like take the covers off like I did, pressure wash it. Get all the crud and nastiness off of it before you start tearing it apart. This is just a blind spot thought on me that I just overlooked, and I knew better. But anyway, I want to try this wrap. I don't know if I said this before, but I have used it before to kind of protect parts, and it's worked in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these parts wrapped up. Even the oil pan here. This really came out nice. I really like that. Don't you guys? Y'all like that? I do. Anyway, if you want to, this is in the video last week, on the channel last week in the video. If you want to check it out, right up here, there'll be a link. But that all came out great. Anyway, I want to go ahead and wrap these up, and we'll go outside and see how clean I can get this. I think it'll come pretty clean. It doesn't look that bad, but I don't know. We'll see. Wrapping these with plastic wrap is pretty straightforward. I go in a crisscross motion, in other words, one way and then, you know, the other way at 90 degrees. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just pull you out a piece of wrap, pop it off. Now, the one problem about this stuff is it wants to self-stick onto itself, but yeah, you'll get the hang of it. And you just simply wrap it around like this, the best you can. And this stuff is cheap too. I mean, this is Walmart brand. You don't have to get the real expensive Reynolds wrap. It's just basic plastic wrap. And just tuck it under. There. That's it, right there. Now I'll show you how to put them on. It's also straightforward. Just put the screw through the hole, through the plastic, and screw it in. Works great, but anyway, I'll give you a close-up of it. Now what I'm using on this side in the way of screws is Allen head screws. Getting these covers off is really a pain because they have, well, here is a picture of them. What looks to be like Phillips head screws. They are not Phillips heads. They are Japanese industrial standard screws. And they work much better than Phillips, but I just don't like them as compared to Allen head screws. These just work so much better. Anyway, I had to drill a couple of the heads off and ended up with just studs. So instead of replacing them with JIS screws, I want to replace them with Allen head screws. Poke right through the plastic, get the hole lined up, and screw these in. And that's really all there is to it. Very basic, very straightforward. You know, more than likely, the powder coating would not be damaged at all, just simply by me cleaning the dirt and grime off of this. But I do not want to run into the risk of scratching it or marring it in any way. But like I said, if I would have done it right in the first place, I wouldn't be running into this situation right now. But if you do run into it, this is the best way to go if you want to clean your motor off and your side covers have already been done. Now I just go through and finish off the rest of these. You don't need to put all the screws in. You know, it's not necessary. You're not going to be, you know, pressure washing right on that seam. I'm just going to be, you know, knocking the grime off and the gunk off after it dissolves all the grime. Now this cover here, the dust cover area that goes over the sprocket, I'm just going to leave that open. It's open to the weather anyway, so I can get in there and clean all that grime out. Now let's go on outside and finish this up. Hey, if you guys are liking this video, then please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and go ahead and hit that notification bell too, so you know when my next videos are coming out. Now, let's get this motor cleaned up. Sorry about the audio. I'm outside. I live right by a busy road, so anyway, just hopefully you can hear me. Okay, I want to spray this down. Now, I'm using Gunk original formula. They do make a foamy formula. I don't know how much better it is, if it is or not, whatever. But anyway, this has always worked in the past for me, so that's why I'm using it. Now, if you do decide to use this actually is nothing more than kerosene. So if you just want to use straight kerosene, that's fine. This does have other things in it. I'm not going to read them off to you. It's just a bunch of chemical names that I can't pronounce. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and spray it down with this. And you're supposed to let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. It's not too hot outside, so I'm going to let it sit for about 15 and then hit it with a scrub brush in the really nasty places. Actually a little wire toothbrush. So let me go ahead and get with this. Now this is already starting to knock the stuff off, which I expected it to. But still, I'm going to let it sit. There are some very heavy buildup areas, especially where the starter was. Soak this down really good. Okay, got the engine done, cleaned up, looking pretty. Now it's time to paint the heads and the jugs with this right here, okay? And anyway, after I get done painting these, after they cure and everything, I want to put them in the oven at 250 degrees for 30 minutes and, cure them a little bit more. But anyway, I want to go ahead and paint them. Oh yeah, by the way, this is from Krylon. Now, I've never used Krylon. I have used Rust-Oleum before. High heat paint, high temp paint. This is good up to 1200 degrees. And I've never used the silver. I've always used the black. But anyway, this should be a good touch because, I want that all aluminum look on this engine. So let's see how this does. All right, this came out pretty nice, man. And it actually did not take that much work. I mean, yes and no, it did. Well, my pressure washer broke on me. So I actually had to scrub this thing by hand. And yeah, everybody knows how much of a pain that is. But it actually came out a little bit better than what I was expecting. Now, over on the front of the motor itself, down low, see if I can get over here and get a picture of it. Yeah, right down, get some light in here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the lower part of the motor, I mean, this takes the blunt of everything. So it's all nasty and black and dull, and that's actually embedded into the aluminum. Scrubbing on it, it didn't do anything to it. So what I'm going to have to do is go back and use a wire wheel on it, which I will. Also, this piece right here, this is the oil filter cover. And I just forgot to powder coat that. So I'll go back and powder coat that. And also there's another piece over here on the side. It goes in here, right there. And this is it. Well, I forgot to powder coat it as well. So anyway, I'll go back, powder coat those two parts and wire wheel the motor down in the front, the casings, and it came out really nice. Like I said, it came out better than what I expected. This is where the starter goes, and it is a catch-all for debris, bad. Probably can't get it out now since I got the... There we go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys remember, this was just filthy dirty. I mean, really, really dirty. It literally had standing debris in there, probably about a 1/4 inch thick. Maybe not that much, but a lot. But anyway, that all came clean. The gearbox, the sprocket cover down in there, it's all nice and clean. Those were the two dirtiest places on it. The reason being is, well, I mean, it's a chain. It has oil on it, and it's really collects a lot over the years up inside those little crevices, and well, you know how that goes. Just a lot of scrubbing, a lot of buildup. Nobody ever cleans it. Yeah, this came out sweet. Now these aren't on there permanently. I just put some double-sided tape on there and stuck them on there to see what it looked like. But yeah, it's really nice. And this is that paint that goes up, what is it, 1600 degrees? No, not that much. 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. So anyway, it came out sweet. Came out really sweet, really nice. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I don't remember if I said anything to you guys earlier, but if you're going to be working on any Japanese motorcycle engine, I highly suggest that you invest into some of these right here. These are Japanese industrial standard screwdrivers, and they look like a Phillips. They are not. Two totally different animals, actually. If you try to use a Phillips on the original screws, it's going to ruin them. It will. It will trash those screws out, and you'll end up having to drill the heads out to get them out on some of them. But anyway, I'll put a link down below for these guys. You can pick them up fairly reasonable at Amazon. You only need 3 of them. It's 1, 2, and 3 are the sizes to really do virtually anything on these bikes. To fit any screw that will come on them. So anyway, I'll put that link down below along with my diffusers for powder coating. Just cruise down there, click on it, and take you right to them. And anyway, yeah, like I said, this came out sweet. The contrast between the powder coat and the paint here, and also the bare aluminum that I just cleaned up off of the case, they're great. They work well together. It's not, you know, literally black and white. They kind of flow into each other. It works, and I'm happy with it. So if you guys want to, or if y'all are in a project like this, instead of, you know, going with the standard black or, you know, outlandish reds and stuff like that to make your motor pop, you know, just aluminum looks good, as they work, the grayish color. So that's where I'm going with this, and I believe that I achieved it. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I put these, I just want to see what it looks like with these side covers on. I got this one. No, that's great with this. I just want to see what it looked like with the emblems on it, the badges. So just took some double-sided tape and stuck it on there. I'll pop them back off. There's some more cosmetics we got to do to the front of it, like I showed you. This is just road ravaged, really. I mean, heavily oxidated and everything else, because the coating that was on there from the factory, it wore off years ago. So the front of this engine is, you know, just oxidized, and degreaser won't do anything with that. So I have to take a wire wheel to it and, you know, make it look presentable. Anyway, so hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys showing up every week. I'm at over 2,000 subscribers now, and I really appreciate you guys who show up all the time, every week, and watch my channel. For those of you out there who show up and watch my channel and or are not subscribed yet, please subscribe. You really help me out. You help this channel out. So anyway, I will catch you guys next Sunday. Have a good one. Bye.